What's going on, guys, and welcome back to Saving Skylands. Today I bring you a ranking video that I don't do very often anymore, but since we passed our 1 year and I did my top 10 favorite and least favorite over a year ago now, I feel it's time to redo that. So today I have Elizabeth with me, and we are both going to be giving you our top 10 favorite Skylanders of all time with gameplay and reasonings why. So yeah, stay the whole time and you'll get all 20 of our Skylanders.
Woohoo! My number 10, we've got Hex.
Fear the dark.
Alright, so for Hex, I personally like her, and I just think her bone ability is pretty good. I honestly think when she does her shooting, and then when, this is probably my favorite, especially when I play PvP. I think that's definitely my favorite for sure. But then we click into here.
Are yours.
Her orbs, probably, I feel like long range shooter, like distant ones, are probably my favorite when it comes to that. But definitely the bones, they do that damage and then they also kind of block. But I mainly use the orbs. So, yeah.
So for my number 10, I have Thrillipede.
All hands on deck!
Alright, for the first Skylander on my list, we do have Thrillipede. Thrillipede, I took forever for me to get Thrillipede, and it actually was sent to me by a subscriber, so I'm very thankful for that. And he is absolutely amazing, as you can see the moves that I'm using right now. He has a little bit of everything. He throws grenades as his main attack. He can also use a melee attack. He can punch with all four arms. Does good damage, and then you can hold it. And then he can drop a landmine. And then you can jump and do the same button, but just tap it, and you leave landmines everywhere. And then they'll explode. I think you can have 4 or 5 at the same time. But this move right here is the key. You are totally invulnerable to everything. Nothing can hit you at all. You take 0 damage, and when you come out of it, tons and tons of damage. He just has a little bit of everything, and that's what makes him so fun. He's got a fun personality, and of course, I love his Easter version, as you can see.
My number 9, Stealth Elf.
Silent but deadly.
Stealth Elf has pretty much always been like my go-to, because who the heck doesn't like Stealth Elf? The one thing that's kind of like a bummer about her though is just that she has very low health. So, and then obviously if you watch her videos, I die a lot, so it just kind of happens, I guess. But I do like how she can move pretty fast and also do damage and then disappear and like go and hit the enemies as well. That's probably one of my favorite things about her. I'm just like a button masher when it comes to certain things like that. So, but yeah, that's what I like about her.
So number 9, I have Chaos.
Behold my catchphrase of doom!
Now for my number 9, we do have Chaos. Just to be able to play as the main villain for the previous like 6 games. Andy is, well, the previous 5 games, and the villain of this game. Like, it's a burst of nostalgia. Also, his character alone is very good. He can summon these Doomlander things, which I don't do it a whole bunch. I mostly use his ranged attack. Like, no one ever comes close to me when I use them. But also throw in his melee attacks, that also do an amazing job. I'd go more in depth with that. I already did a review on him, full review, so if you're interested, check that out. But this path allows you to create larger Doomlanders, and your close range are better, and this one's long range are better. So me being the ranged attacker that I am, I obviously prefer the ranged attack. It keeps everything at bay, and you never have to worry about really using these attacks. Even though you can do some really cool things when you like charge the fists up, do 300 damage, it's absolutely amazing. Then this right here, I'm not even pressing anything at the moment, and he can't get hit when you do that either. Then you get your Doom Sharks, the classic Doom Sharks, of course. He's just amazing, and anything you'd want from like the nostalgia of playing the game all the way from like 2011.
Number 8, Flameslinger.
Let the flames begin.
With Flameslinger, come on, what can you like about Flameslinger? He's a long distance shooter. Also, his flames do constant damage, which is definitely beneficial. And when you do his fire thing, it does a lot of damage. That's especially one of my favorite things about Flameslinger. And I like how you can do the long range and then hit somebody, like if they're up on a cliff or whatever, like you can hit them from a far distance. But I definitely like doing this when we're like in gameplay because it does like the big damage. Definitely convenient.
At number 8, I have Bash.
Rock and roll.
Alright, now for number, 8, I had Bash. And Bash is one of the easiest Skylanders to use. He is super simple, and for me, he's a lot of fun. I know Elizabeth doesn't care for him, but he's a ton of fun. His moves, so simple, and they take literally no effort to get down. He has a simple tail swipe. He rolls everywhere, and then he brings up one of these stones that he can hit. Both paths are very good. You can either do a ton of damage with his tail swipe or roll really fast and turn into literally a giant boulder. And I do prefer Series 2 for this ability right here, where he rolls and then does this huge slam, does a ton of damage. Other than that, he just rolls around, destroying pretty much everything in its path, doing a ton of damage. And when you have him on the other path, he can charge it up and he'll do like 600, 500 damage. It's absolutely ridiculous. But other than that, you can make one of these maybe pop up. I can't get it to pop up actually. There it is. And it does a good ranged attack as well. And a lot of people don't use his ranged attack, but it's actually really good, and for damage control, really, really good.
Number 7, Countdown.
I'm the bomb.
Light core.
So for Countdown, okay, look at him first. He is so cute. Definitely geeked out when it comes to characters being cute, for sure. But I also like how you can pop out like his little bomb buddies and then they can blow up as well. Like obviously they're not going to show it, but you can see it on here that when he does that, pops out their little heads and then they can explode, and he can even throw his own. And his rockets are pretty good damage, but I also do definitely like the fact that he can self-destruct, even though it takes a long time. But like when Victor and I do the PvP, like I'll just take it like a champ, but then I'll blow him up and do pretty much a lot of damage. So yeah.
At number 7, I have Double Dare Trigger Happy.
Yeah! No gold, no glory!
Now we have Double Dare Trigger Happy, and this Trigger Happy is literal normal Trigger Happy on steroids and more drugs, literally. He is absolutely nuts. He does the same for his main attack, just rapidly shooting, but now he also shoots himself out of a cannon, does an explosion. He has this weird thing that I don't use a whole bunch, but it allows you to run really fast, oddly. So that's what it helps out for. But overall, it's super simple. I mean, obviously it's more complicated than it is Series 1 from Spyro's Adventure. I mean, this is 5 games later. But he's just so much fun because you get to use, like, it's still Trigger Happy. They didn't ruin him like they ruined Terrafin and Super Shot Stealth Elf. Like, I don't like them, personally, but Trigger Happy is actually someone who was already great, and they somehow found a way to make him better.
Number 6, Washbuckler.
8 legs and no pegs.
So now we got Washbuckler. Got a pretty good short attack, and once you do like so many of them, and this bubble gun, like look at this, he shoots little fish. Definitely the cutest thing ever. And I also do like how you can like keep going towards enemies and you can constantly hit him with this spinning. His little bubbles do pretty good damage, I'd say, but he's more of a close range, but he's also a distance, so I guess I'd say it's pretty beneficial, but that's why I like him, because but the bubble's definitely one of my favorites for sure.
At number 6, I have Wolfgang.
Let there be rock!
Now we have Wolfgang. Wolfgang made the list last year, and he has made the list again. I don't play Imaginators a bunch, so I don't use him a bunch, but I still absolutely love him. His abilities are absolutely amazing. You get to use this right here where you ain't gotta press anything, but it's his main attack mostly. I didn't like it at first until I upgraded him, and then you can bring down the speakers, and then you shoot 3 at once, and then you can charge one up and do 140 damage, sometimes like 200. Then you got this slide that the little reels come out behind you. His Sky Chi is okay. He actually has one of my least favorite Sky Chis, but overall for a ranged Skylander, he is perfect for me, and also has like some things that keep enemies, if they do get close, you can take them down pretty easily as well.
Number 5, Rollerball.
Let's roll!
So for Rollerball, I've definitely been obsessed with her since, like, I think I've started playing Skylanders with him, and she's just so convenient because, like, when she headbutts, she does that constant damage with, like, her thing, and then her attacks and these all do pretty good damage. I'm not very good with technical terms because I don't do it all the time, but I think
Check me out!
she's just pretty good. But her headbutting ability is definitely my favorite, and her speed is ultimately like one of the best ones too as well. But stalls that spin around her are pretty good. I think my favorite is just kind of the look at her. I mean, I'm all about cuteness, but she's pretty good too, so it's convenient to have a character that's cute and is pretty good at battle.
For number 5, I have Igniter.
Slash and burn!
Now we have Igniter. Igniter is one of the most fun Skylanders to use, along with Bash, honestly. All of his moves are very good, even though I don't understand his one mortar ability, and I don't use it a whole bunch, but that path is fun. It's nowhere near as good, but it is fun. I do prefer the Series 2 and also the Legendary version, as I am using it right here. It just looks fantastic, and it's my favorite Legendary, probably. He does a ton of damage. His combos are so much fun. And with this Series 2 Wow Pow, he leaves behind a bunch of fire trail. And here's his mortar ability, where he can run around and just do a bunch of burning damage to the whole screen. And then for PvP, he's super annoying when you charge up this big old slam and do 360 damage in Trap Team. So good luck fighting against that.
Number 4, Bumble Blast.
The perfect swarm!
Now we got Bumble Blaster. Like, look at him. Number 1, cuteness, adorable. I like how he can shoot his bees, and then he can also do his honey, and when you shoot the bees, they do pretty good damage. But then I also do like how you can like throw these down, and once an enemy like runs into them, they do pretty decent damage as well. I think my favorite's like the honey throw in, and like how consistent his gun is as well. But yeah, I think he's a pretty good character overall. But we'll take a look at his powers. I do like his homing bees are probably one of my favorite things because he's pretty efficient when it comes to shooting them. His honey beacon is pretty good too. We took the top path, which is just about the nest, and you can hold and charge up the bazooka. Sorry. But I think he's probably one of my favorite characters for sure.
For number 4, I have Tree Rex. Tree Rex is the best giant for me, hands down. He has 2 paths that are both absolutely amazing. This one has his like punch attack or his slam attack, whatever you want to call it. It does great damage, but also his, I think it's called his photosynthesis cannon. I can barely say the word, but it is absolutely amazing, and that is the path that this one is on, I believe. I also have the gnarly version, which is amazing as well. I put that one on the charge path, and both paths are absolutely amazing. This one you can hold down the cannon, and it turns them into plants that explode and then damage other enemies. So it's always nice to have a Skylander that has two paths, so you never feel pressured or like, I don't know, concerned that you chose the wrong path, because both of them are very usable and very good.
Number 3, Snip Snip, aka Shortcut.
Cut to the chase.
And now we got Shortcut, or Snip Snip. My favorite ability about him is this little guy.
Grim and trim.
And then he can also put that down and show all the constant damage as well. But I do like these little guys. Look how cute they are. They're literally just following me around. But I do like this constant damage. Pretty much if you ever watched like one of our playthroughs or anything of reviews these or watched us on live, I pretty much just constantly slam this button. But that's definitely one of my favorites. And we'll go through his powers really quick.
These stats are styling.
Oh, just look how cute he is. But I do like his scissor attack. His little guys do pretty good damage, I would say. They do better damage if you cut them down. Like, look at this. They are adorable. Little puppets. But this is definitely probably one of the best things ever, too.
At number 3, I have Free Ranger.
Whip up a storm.
So at my number 3, I do have Free Ranger. Now you may notice there's a little mix-up. His bottom half is his normal version, and his top half is his legendary version, because as of right now, I'm doing my lock, and I do not have the other halves with me. But he is absolutely amazing. He has this shock ability that'll shock pretty much every enemy, even like medium to large size ones, just not bosses, obviously. The tornado ability is amazing because constant damage. It tears up like chompies or smaller enemies. It can throw medium-sized enemies across the map. His blades are so fast. Usually I don't like melee characters, but he makes up for it for how fast he is and how fast he can just get out of the way. And this path specifically creates tornadoes every time you stop it using it. So then enemies get caught in it. I do prefer the other one, the Lightning Nova. But both are very good. For the top, you have lightning, which you can charge up. It's okay. It's a one-hit kind of thing. But these is the best. This path for the blades, you can charge them up, and they do consecutive damage, and nothing can stop you. When you charge it up, nothing can stop you. You can still get damaged, and you're still vulnerable. But you do this, just constant damage.
Number 2, Windup.
Oh, Wallop.
Now we got Windup. Okay, number 1, look how freaking cute he is. He kind of looks like he's like a little nuts, but he's a little complicated character, but probably my favorite thing about him is how he does this little thing with the symbols. And his snipping ability is probably one of the most efficient, I'd say. But I do like how when you can charge him up, he can do damage as well. Like, you don't have to wait for him to be, like, good. So, like, how can you not love Windup? Like, look at this. I know he doesn't do much damage, but, like, for me, it really doesn't matter about the damage. His health is a little rough, but I think he's super cute and super efficient when you use the normal attack button. And then you can just charge back up and it still does damage.
For number 2, I have Wallop.
Hammer it home.
Now dropping from the number 1 spot, we have Wallop. Last year, he ranked my favorite Skylander, believe it or not. I know you guys know how much I love Gil Grunt. Spoiler alert, he went up 1, Wallop went down 1. Wallop is still absolutely amazing. Just the nostalgia of Gil Grunt obviously ranks him a little higher. But Wallop just does so much damage over time. All you have to do is hold the main attack, and he goes into his tantrum mode and just does so much damage. He makes the trap team bosses look easy. Then he throws in 2 ranged attacks, which is you would not expect him to have ranged attacks, let alone have them be good. He can throw these up in the air, charge them up to this ginormous size, drop them down, and do almost 200 damage. Then you have these hammers that come together, do a ton of damage. And they go actually towards the enemies when you are fighting them. And they do good damage. Mostly just keep them away from you. But this tantrum mode right here is what makes him absolutely amazing.
And for the best one, Popthorn #1, baby.
Straight to the point.
And if you've hung around long enough, you already know that Popcorn is my absolute favorite character of all time. #1, he's cute. #2, he does these, and you don't even have to like be pointing them, and like I'm not a very good like person when it comes to shooting it at the right direction. So I guess that's pretty convenient for me. And then he does this big attack and does constant damage with these guys too. And then he does his little pooping bombs. They blow up. And then when he puffs back up, he also does some decent damage. But it's definitely when you puff up and then you shoot it, it does really good damage. But yeah, definitely just look how cute he is swimming in the water. He's even cute when he's a little sparked up. But yeah, Popthorn is definitely my #1.
And at #1, it is of course Gil Grunt.
Fear the fish.
So everybody knew it was coming. Gil Grunt is my favorite Skylander and probably will be forever. I do say that with very lightly because I mean Wallop was my favorite last year apparently. So Gil Grunt is just for nostalgia reasons, and I think he is one of the best. In PvP, in the story mode, he has 2 amazing paths. People just, I don't know. His other path is so underrated. His hose path is absolutely amazing in the first 3 games. And even in Trap Team, it isn't bad at all. It just, they kind of nerfed it a little bit. It doesn't go as far. Not as many little starfish blow up and come out of it. But I do prefer his Series 3 because he can charge up this lovely thing right here, and it sucks in all the enemies into one spot, medium and small, and then you can just obliterate them with pretty much either weapon you have equipped. You can either use your hose or you can use your harpoons, and that is why Gil Grunt is still now my favorite Skylander of all time. Alright, so that concludes it for our top 20 combined, top 10 for each, our top 10 favorite Skylanders as of 2022. Maybe we'll do it again in 2023. We'll see what happens. But thank you guys for watching. Leave down your lists in the comments below. There will also be my Discord link pinned down there, so follow that and you'll get a bunch of fun stuff. We're both in the Discord, so come talk to us. Other than that, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys soon.